Hello, this is a demonstration of the file management utility when used with TelePACE controllers. The SCADAPAC 300 series offers data logging to an external USB memory stick. Up until now, retrieval of data logs requires a visit to site. Commonly referred to as walk-up SCADA or drive-by SCADA, this typically involves driving to the site, retrieving or replacing the USB stick, and driving off. The data logs are later processed or archived back at the main office. However, with File Management Utility, remote access to USB data is now possible, eliminating time-consuming and sometimes costly visits to site. So how is this done? Well, the quick answer is using either File Management Utility from TelePACE Studio or an FTP client. Up to now, data log files could be saved to a USB memory stick as a data backup in case of a communications failure. While important as a data archive for accountability, data log files could only be retrieved by driving to site and removing or replacing the USB memory stick. Now you can do this remotely. And up to now, data logs could be optionally saved to the controller's internal memory, up to 7 megabytes. While important as a local archive, data log files could only be retrieved by traveling to site and inserting a USB stick. Files are then autocopied to the stick. Again, now you can do this remotely. And for the 4203 gas flow computers, they can now use the data log to file function with its internal drive now that file retrieval is possible. So the first method, the File Management Utility, is offered in TelePACE Studio. It's a Windows Explorer style dialog that lets you browse the file system of a SCADAPAC 300 series or the 4203. Well, let's look at an example up close. This is TelePACE Studio. In this example, I'm connected to a SCADAPAC 334 using a Modbus TCP connection. The new File Management Utility is found on the Configure Tool ribbon. And here is the Windows Explorer style browser. I see my controller here, 334. I'll expand the folder, and I see now that it has found a controller disk, the internal drive, and an external USB drive. Expanding the controller disk, I see a folder labeled Logs, and in here I can find my data log to file records. If I'm also using a USB memory stick, and like in this example, I can expand it and any folders that I've created through the data log to file function. And here we are. In this example, I have several data logs already stored, and I'm going to select, for example, 3 of these and select the Export Data Log button. To export these log files from the controller to my computer, I first select a folder on my computer. CSV format is the format of the exported file. This is done automatically without the need for SCADAlog data converter. But there still is a folder selected for the raw data log file, the NLG file that's saved on the actual USB stick. And just like the data log converter, we have the same status information for the export, and I can view the files immediately where they're stored on my PC. And here's the CSV file. Opening the file brings up Microsoft Excel, for example. And there's the data. Now I can also save other data on the controller or the USB stick and retrieve it using the file management utility. For example, on the controller disk, I could save a copy of the TelePACE project, or drawings for the actual site, or special instructions for field personnel. So what I can do, using this tab, I can view my local PC and select for this RTU a folder that may contain the drawings and the TelePACE project. Copying from the local PC and pasting on the controller. The advantage here is that now I can save the project as perhaps a zip file or all the folders in my project folder, and I can retrieve them at site, including their tags, their comments, basically the entire project. And there it is. Now that example used Modbus over TCP, but any connection between TelePACE and the controller is possible, whether it's a serial link over a radio or even a DMP3 link. So the applications, other than retrieving data logs, as we demonstrated, the entire TelePACE project can be saved on the controller or the USB memory stick. So tags, comments, register lists, the whole thing can now be saved on the controller, simply copying it using file management. This could also include site information such as drawings, a maintenance log, or special instructions to field personnel. Once on site, they simply retrieve the data from the controller and then open it locally, and all that information is saved with the controller. With SCADASense 4203 controllers, basically the same two applications are possible. Now when transferring files on slow communication links such as a serial radio link, keep in mind that it does take time to transfer files. The file transfer should only be done if temporary interruption to standard polling can be tolerated on these slow speed connections. Otherwise, file transfer should be done locally with the laptop directly connected to the controller. So how do you get started using these new utilities? Well, first you need to upgrade either your SCADAPAC 300 series or your 4203 firmware to version 1.51 or newer. And note that existing log files on the controller can still be retrieved after firmware is upgraded. You'll need to obtain TelePACE Studio 4.7.2, either to use the file management utility or to set the FTP settings before you use an FTP client. For C++ applications, you'll need to obtain C++ Tools 1.51. Thank you very much.